sometimes I've gone for pitches where you pitched and you had, the other person's pitch, the next production company, and you're like, I'm questioning that pitch. I don't think it's good. Go to any of your favorite influencer, scroll through the timeline, look at how their pictures perform, and look at how their videos perform. There's your answer, Chris.
Nairobi or from Nairobi to it's a new opening for us.
Let me try.
I'm going to
All right, Phil, we're really, really excited to have you here, and thank you very much for making time to take part of this interview. I'll call it a discussion, basically. So I have my first question, really, and this is more of a general question. I would like to know what you think, really, of the quality of video productions in Africa in general. Be it for TV or be it for social media. What are your thoughts?
So I think we've sort of made a milestone in terms of quality, but what has happened is, for the longest time, the networks are working with the same people over and over, and these people have gotten comfortable. So what has happened, and I'm telling you this because I'm in the industry, right? So what has happened is, over time, you find content creators that are making better quality content than actual TV producers. And, this is one of those things I'm just like, man, these guys need to wake up or else,
That's crazy. But then, and they're doing it, and they might not even have necessarily the same type of equipment, But
yeah, because here's the thing, Chris. 7 years ago, I pitched an idea to do a reality show, right? We pitched the idea, it's supposed to be about, a couple and, their life sprinkled with a bit of controversy and whatnot. Maybe this is 6, 7 years, 8 years ago. Fast forward to now, this is what I'm seeing on social media with like, the What Jesus family, this kind of people. And 6, 7, 8 years ago, when we were trying to convince stations that such ideas work, they tell you no, and either way, still you find they're doing such ideas, but then they're doing it with the wrong kind of production companies, and it just looks funny. So guys on social media, that's why people on social media are getting the numbers that they're getting, is because they're doing really good content, shooting them well with their phones, and this is getting people's attention.
Interesting.
Speaking of which, in Kenya, we don't even broadcast in HD, man. So even if I shot in 4K, 6K, it has to be watered down and like the size of the image, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Tell me about it. I remember the days when, I've done a lot of TV rebrands and stuff like that. So, it's always been the battle. You create some beautiful stuff, with serious effects, but then you have to make sure that
by the time, you have to downgrade. By the time it gets to the viewer, it looks terrible, And you have a family out there like, oh my God, we have like horrible content on TV. It looks like shit.
So tell me, because I've seen that most of your content, recently you've always created amazing content, but recently there's a dedicated effort to use great sound effects and serious visual effects. How important do you think this is, especially now, looking at the context of social media and all that? Do you think that in order to really command attention, it's very important for content creators to start moving into that direction as well?
So, Chris, it's funny. I always feel like I've been ahead of the curve in the sense, when I was 20, we did a series called Changing Times that blew up. It did pretty well. this series was going head to head with another series on Mnet called Changes. And I hated the fact that people used to confuse. They walk up to me like, "Oh, I like Changes," and I'm like, "Damn, those guys have a bigger budget." So this is, I hated that. But if you look at both productions, they were on the same level. But this is how I'll answer that question. We do a lot of commercials. We do TVCs and we do documentaries and we do films. But I've been trying to have conversations with clients, and I've been trying to tell them that, there's a different way to do content for social media. We can't do it in the old school film TVC way. And anytime, I'm pitching these ideas and I'm like, yeah, so she's going to walk, cross through the tree. When she crosses the tree, the sound goes like, oh, and then from the other side, she's gonna be changed, and then she's gonna turn into a man, and then, his pants are going to like disappear. They look at me like, Phil, just shut up, please. Stop with the creativity bullshit. So then it becomes a thing of like, I start to feel trapped. And I've had this discussion with a few of my industry people. There's people who I sit down with, I go talk to them, and they advise me. So it got to a point that, it was necessary for me to just express myself like this. Because here's the thing, if I'm trying to tell you these ideas and you're not seeing them, then let me show you how it can be done. And this is what I'm trying to do with some of the content on my page now. So there's a need for us to be on the next level, do amazing sound design, do amazing VFX. And you know what great sound can do for a little piece of film, Without good sound, it's nothing. The sound is as important as your script or as your camera.
I mean, yeah, some people even say that people can tolerate some bad video quality, but sound, it's you can't. You just really cannot. It's not possible. All right, Phil. So I heard you, talk about how you pitch your commercials to your clients. So I'd like to talk about that, specifically that. Do you think it's about time that brands review their approach and rethink their approach to commercials, especially in this era of social media? Is it still possible to take, because I see it online, I see a lot of people just shooting a TVC and just putting it on social media as is, even just, for them, they say, okay, as long as it's 45 seconds, it's fine, as long as, it fits the, the below 1 minute kind of criteria, it's fine. What do you think, man?
Yes, I really feel that, things are changing very fast, and TV, as we know, is not the same. So right now, everything is on demand, and the new generation is on their phones longer than they are doing anything else. So that means we have to change the way we consume, we make the content and sell our products. Most amazing thing about social media is we can easily target and say, you know what, this is our product and we want to target these people. But this is where the companies are failing, because they're doing one broad spectrum TVC, generic TVC that, they think can cut across. The way to do it is, change the thought process, make it very targeted, but also make it for social media. And these are some of the things that I'm trying to do as, with some of the content that I'm building, so that, even though you're paying me to create a commercial, I'm not only creating just a commercial that looks that's worth 7, 8, 10 million, but I'm doing it in a way that is social media friendly. It can cut across. It looks like content that was done by your favorite blogger, but still it has these elements of, proper filmmaking.
So let me ask you, because you see, it could be a vague thing to say, people just tell, look, you know what, you need to create content for social media. So I want to take you back to the last video it's not the last video you created, but the video that you created for, with Joy Candy, where you were using a Samsung mobile device, right? So, so what is, So what makes that video, for example, a social media friendly video? I've seen you in your, underpants, and is this that what is this what we're talking about? Is it the talkability that it creates? Is it so? What do you think? So what do you?
So here's the thing, Chris. Like I'm just going to tell you, right? Here's the thing. I sell ideas. That's all I sell every single day. I wake up, I think of ideas, I sell ideas to people. If I'm talking to my crowd, if I'm talking to people, it has to be cool. Do you get what I'm saying? That is where we're starting from. It has to be cool. So then if we're creating the video, we have to create it with elements of, what are the elements that are going to be, what are people going to talk about? Aside from just what the idea is, but what are people going to talk about? How do we best convey the message? And also, what are some of the cool theatrics, which would be now the VFX and things like that we can encompass into the video. So this thing is really, really thought out. It's not as simple as it seems. Like we went to town and we just started shooting and I decided to drop my pants. And funny story, actually, I had a small crew. I work with a big crew. I work with like maybe 40 to 30 crew members. But I had my crew there, my producer and editor from the company. And we were supposed to do, the scene where I like run and cross the tree, then I don't have pants. We're supposed to do it with my producer. And he was like, yo, no, I'm not going down in history like this, Phil. You're taking one for the team, bro. So, but, those are some of the things that remain memorable. And to think that a video like that is, this is what I'm trying to put across, right? A lot of people watched that video. On Joy's page, it got about 250, 260,000 views. On my page, the behind the scenes got 160,000 views. Already, we're almost clocking 500,000. On Twitter, the same video clocked about 200,000 views. So we knocked down about 700,000 views on one small video. And, the conversation then became oh man, I really want to get a Samsung, because if this is some of the cool things that a Samsung can do, then that's what I want to get with. So that's how you now start to sell, modern day ideas. You get what I'm saying, for companies.
But Phil, I really hope that companies, that brands become a little bit more reactive now, because for instance, I really hope, and you don't have to say it on record, but I really hope that Samsung calls you and is working with you on the next, avenue. Seriously, because it, you see, and usually this is the problem. You go and pitch an idea, and then people are not bold enough to take the idea, and then they have to wait for you to implement the idea, and put it out there and see how people react, and then all of a sudden, they're interested. They're not bold enough to say, you know what, this is what we stand for. We push boundaries. We're going to take a chance. Calculated risks, right? So yeah. So I really hope that we're going to see a lot more coming. From you and you and your Samsung device or whatever it is.
Yeah. But the thing is, on record, they didn't call me, but they did get in touch with Joy, which was pretty cool. So, for me, that makes me happy because, it means the message was sent home. But, we're just all about doing amazing content that makes people feel something. If I'm able to make you feel something, then that's my work is done,
Awesome. So in that process, because you see, I can imagine that for a video like this, and you and I have worked together before on so many projects, right? So I know that there are so many phases to this thing. I'm just thinking about the storyboarding aspect of this particular video. So how important do you think storytelling is, when it comes to creating content, especially right now, especially content that is specifically targeted at social media? How important do you think storytelling is?
So I have a very simple concept. If you're a content creator and you have an idea, so the idea with the light bulb this is the most crucial part of any process when it comes to creating anything. So, you know, if you, what you need to do is you need to be able to then, when you come up with the idea, go pitch it to someone, right? Pitch it to someone, tell them this is the idea that I have. Then, you know, that becomes your audience test. If you're able to pitch this idea to people and they see the vision, then, you know, it means it's going to fly. But that little idea creating process, that is everything. That is the heart of the whole production or the whole process when you're creating. It's just as important as having a good director on set, as important as having a good DP on set, as important as having a good actor on set. Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. And you know, so there's one question that I asked, I remember I asked Coco, which is Vanessa, you know, when we had a discussion about content, and it was really about innovation, you know. So for me, it was, how important do you think innovation is? You look around, do you see that your fellow video directors are really pushing the boundaries, you know, where they need to, you know? Are they trying to reach new frontiers, you know? And what do you think? Please be honest, you know, because we want to advance the industry, you know, we really need to go as far as we can. So what do you think? Do you think there's still a lot to do, or do you think there are lots of guys that are really now trying to do things a bit differently?
I think guys have been doing an amazing job, to be honest, because, you know, in East Africa, we're still like, you know, our production levels are pretty good. But I feel like, so you know how Nairobi works, right? It's a little monopoly. And it's like maybe 6, 7, 8 people who are doing the major jobs. Then you have a trickle of another 4, 5 doing the mid-sized jobs. Then, so it's really, that's what it.
Just 1 second. Are you sure you want to talk about this? Anyway, let's go ahead. No, it's just giving you an opportunity. Anyway, go ahead. But we need to talk about this.
But listen, Chris, like here's the thing. If I knew that about my career when I started, I would have gotten into farming or some other thing. You know what I'm saying? If I knew I had to break this many boundaries to get to even close to where I am. Yeah. Woo. But to answer your question, the thing about it is, most guys are comfortable. They're not pushing the boundaries. You know, you get to the top, you can do good quality stuff. You're not pushing the boundaries. I think for me, pushing the boundaries is doing very creative content, whether on social media or the ads world or TV. That is, you know, the guys who are actually pushing the boundaries are content creators, Chris. Like that, those are the people who are pushing the boundaries. Your Elsa Majimbos, you know, these are the people who are pushing the boundaries and getting global recognition. So I wouldn't say, you know, people in my industry are pushing the boundaries, but content creators are pushing the boundaries for sure.
So Phil, I'm sure that one way or the other, you're sometimes faced with some people that don't have enough experience, and those are the people that you have to pitch some crazy ideas to. And I've been in that scenario before. I can only imagine, you know, what it feels like for someone like you, you know, because your stuff is a lot more involved. So could you please tell us a little bit more about that, about the industry, about you having to pitch to certain, say, brand managers, marketing managers, and so on, that might or might not be, you know, that experience. You know, what do you think about that?
Here's you know, like I told you, my work every day is to come up with ideas. You know, I sell air. That's what I usually like to say. I sell air. I just sell little ideas to people every single day. Now, some of the challenges with that have been the fact that you will go try sell an amazing idea, but then who are you selling the idea to? You know, some of the people in charge of, let's say, maybe brands or things like this, you know, you're hitting them with the cool ideas, but they don't see it. And not because, you know, of anything. And I don't take it personally. It's just that, you know, sometimes companies also just maybe hire the wrong people for these jobs. You know, it's like, you know, if you got the right people, then it's easier for this process to, I think brands would have like much cooler content. I think brands would have much, it's who are we selling to, and that's why some brands do very well. It's like some brands you're just like, man, these guys keep hitting us with really good ads all the time, really good social media campaigns. But then others, it's such a disconnect. And it's as bad as, like, sometimes I've gone for pitches where you pitched and you had, the other person's pitch, the next production company, and you're like, I'm questioning that pitch. I don't think it's good. And that's what you end up seeing on TV, or that's what you end up seeing online. And you ask yourself, it really should be about the idea. And that's what I like about America is it's really about that whoever has the best idea wins. I don't have to be your cousin. I don't have to be your brother. I don't have to be, it's just whoever has the best idea wins. So that's also one thing that would really make, the industry go to the next level, because we'd be challenged every day, all the time,
Brands, are you listening? Do you hear this? You need to hire the right people. You need to hire the right people, and it's just one of those things.